Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check one, check one. Hello and good evening to the Asian Town International Cricket Ground in Doha, Qatar. Ramadan Cup, the second edition of the T10 2025. We've got three exhilarating contests lined your way tonight. The first one between QNB and Fighter Cricket Club. Fighters are going to have the first go at this beautiful looking surface. Not a tinge of green on it. It looks to be an absolute placid batting track. You'd be licking your lips if you are a batter here tonight, that's for sure. Right, so the umpires call play and we're all in readiness for the first game and the first ball of the night. Pandyan is going to start off the proceedings for QNB Cricket Club. Whereas Tariq is taking strike for Fighter Cricket Club. Here we go. First ball coming up. And he tries to hit that one somewhere in the middle of Doha. Wild swing. Just looking at this surface, it looks absolutely placid. Looks to be an absolute batting paradise. So this time he's gone through the offside, fiercely struck straight to the fielder. A lot of credit needs to be given to the curator for the work that's been done, producing a pitch that's tailor-made for T10 cricket. This time he's gone straight and he's easily going to clear that boundary at long off. Wasn't really to the pitch of it, didn't really need to be. He's making an early statement here, is Tariq, that's for sure. First ball he faced, and we saw the intent. And the third and the fourth balls, we've seen the connections as well. Into his zone, anything around that middle and off stump. He will have a go at it. Sweet connection. So it's 2-2. Can he make it 3-3? Right, so the third ball coming up. Can he make it a hat-trick of sixes? One of those rare moments in the tournament where you get 3 balls all out of the park. Way wide outside that off stump. Trying to stay out of his hitting range is Pandyan. Well, still on. The third six in his range, and I think he would be a little bit disappointed with himself there. Tariq, it was a delivery very similar to the one he deposited over the mid-wicket boundary. This time, not quite getting the connection. Right, they've got 2 men back at the boundary. Long off and long on, waiting for an opportunity. This time, that ball slightly outside that off stump, asking the batsman to fetch it from there. After going for a couple of sixes in this over, he's made a good comeback as Pandyan. Right, second over of the innings coming up. A man going back, a deep extra cover. There is long off in play as well. The 2 fielders outside the 30-yard circle. And we've got Tahir back on strike. He's faced all deliveries so far in this game. What a start we've had to this game. 2 sixes in the first over. And we're playing on an absolute flat deck here tonight. Down the ground he goes. Good piece of fielding on his own bowling. So he's got a man back at deep extra cover and deep long off. The plan seems to be to go full and wide. Yep, 2 wide on that occasion, but he certainly got that shape going away from the right-handed batsman. He's got to be a little careful with his line as another extra. He's probably aiming for the parking lot on that occasion. And this time he was in his zone, although there are 2 fielders placed at the boundary at that side. It's bisected them perfectly. It's lightning outfield here at the Asian Town International Cricket Stadium. And once you find the gap, you get full value for your shots. And dare I say, it wasn't timed as well. Didn't come at the middle of the bat. Hard to be a bowler in today's day and age. Down the track, they've got these massive bats these days, massive pieces of willow. Fast outfields. And only 2 fielders allowed outside the 30-yard circle. Takes a lot of courage and a lot of heart to be a bowler. Khalid facing his first delivery of the night, but the bowler continues in the same fashion. Another ball off the mark. He'll have to reload again. He's handing out a few extras already. And this time it was in his zone. And he's picked his spot over mid-wicket. A couple of bounces over the rope. Khalid gets off the mark. And with that shot, we see a change in field. There's a fieldsman moving back exactly in the direction of where that ball went. And this time it's gone in the direction of the fielder where the fielder came from. So it's all happening already. It's unfortunate. You can't really cover all sides of the field with your fielder. With your fielders rather. This time it was full and he's got a good piece of it. It's going, it's gone. Stand and deliver. The art of sending leather into orbit. He's finished the over in style. So far, what we've seen from Fighter CC isn't just batting, it's muscle memory on loop. And lobbed up nicely. There's a fieldsman coming. Has he got it? He's caught it. He's plucked it out of thin air. Unbelievable piece of fielding there. The umpire's nodding his head. So Tahir has to make that long way back to the pavilion. Absolutely magnificent piece of fielding. Catches win matches, they say. In the first game, they were probably below par. Were QNB CC, but with that effort early in the game, they're already making their intentions clear. A good piece of change as well. You know, they introduced a spinner, and yet another time we see in this tournament, spinner picking up a wicket in the first over. The ritual continues. You can't help but feel you've got to give half of that wicket to the fielder. Wasn't an easy chance at all. Had to run towards his left, his unnatural side, so to say. And then to be able to keep his calm and bend low down just at the right time was just unbelievable. This time short, goes straight to that man once again. Hamad Bangosh. He is one of the most athletic fielders in this side. One of the best in Doha, has to be said, Hamad Bangosh. Signaled as a wide. It was touch and go, very close to that wide line. Amajid probably feeling a bit hard done by, and I think it was touch and go. And at that occasion, though, he's showing no mercy. Is Khalid. There is no spin on offer on this surface. The ball is not doing any tricks in terms of invariable bounce as well, and all you need to do is see the ball, hit the ball. And once again he goes high. Is this an opportunity for someone outside the boundary rope? Yes, it is. 2 in 2. These are short boundaries. He didn't seem to have gotten a good piece of it. Doesn't really matter. He's got the power. And he's got the license now as well. Short on that occasion. Up and over extra cover. A few bounces into the rope. This is a pitch tailor-made to Khalid's strength. That's for sure. You saw him struggle a little bit in the previous games where the ball was jogging around a little bit. It's far from the case here. It's far from that case here. Oh, invited him for another big one there. It was a clever piece of bowling, has to be said, by Amajit, not being afraid to toss the ball up as this over comes to an end. Right, it's a change in bowling, spin, paying dividends in the first over. They've got introduced spin from the second, from the other end as well. Anish Kukaran, he gets the same treatment, does he? No, it's up in the air and well, wow. We saw an absolute blinder in the last over. And we see an absolute sitter there being dropped. Straightforward opportunity. And will this miss come back to haunt them later? It's gone up once again, and this time I think it's got the air miles. It's got the passport as well. Out of the boundary it goes, so they might live to regret that drop chance later. Khalid at the moment, he's dealing in sixes. Wide outside, the off stump, it doesn't really matter. He's fetched it, and he's fetched it for the second consecutive maximum in this over. He's setting the cat amongst pigeons already. We're talking about how good this surface is, and we can already see the ball landing outside the boundary. Way wide on that occasion. He had nothing to do with it, and rightly so. Although quite a few runs have been scored in this game. It's gone again. This time he's bowled him. A bit fuller on that occasion. The batsman aiming onside, not getting to the pitch of the ball, and the ball through the gate. Certainly seemed to have played down the wrong line on that occasion, Khalid, but you get the feeling he's probably done the job with that quick fire innings. Although a few sixes have been scored in this game so far, and they've gotten off to a brisk start, has Fighter CC. This is an excellent surface to bat on, and I can't help but get the feeling that we might as well have a very high scoring game tonight. Such is the nature of T10 cricket. You blink and you miss a century or a batting collapse. Everything's in fast forward motion. Well, it's cricket in fast forward. Fair to say. Well, Afridi is the new batsman in, and he goes first ball. Has he timed it well enough? Yes, he has. Beats that fielder at long off, and he started off in style, making a statement with the first ball. How do you survive? How do you defend yourself as a bowler on this kind of pitch? All you need to do is hit through the line. That's the end of another over. Right. Right, so at the end of 4 overs, Fighter CC already 74 for the loss of 2 wickets. It's happened so quickly. They moved on to 74 without even realizing it. Dilshad is a new bowler. So after a couple of overs of spin, they've reverted back to some pace. He can be a bit nippy, Dilshad. It'll be interesting to see how he handles this particular surface, though. A clean-shaven one. Short, and that was into his territory, and it gave it a passport to travel miles. They're so powerful, these Fighter CC batters. And that's good. That's good variation by Dilshad. A slower one, and I think they will need quite a lot of those tonight. Because all you need to have is a good hand and eye coordination and just swing through the line. As a batter, again, good, very good from Dilshad. Not giving any pace to the batter, and I think they'll have to do a lot of that tonight. This time full, but still cramping the batsman for room. Good piece of bowling. Very thoughtful and strategic. As we look at the field, there are two fielders long gone back at the boundary, deep mid-wicket. Square leg and point, deep point. Full toss on that occasion, and it's got the treatment. He's asking for the no ball there, but I think it was just fine. Just below that waist height. He's not happy with the decision. Just when we were praising him and we thought he'd bowled a decent over, he dishes up a full toss just at the right height. And the kind of mood that these Fighter CC batsmen are in tonight, they are not going to let you get away with it. Taking no prisoners, that's for sure. It's been an action-packed game already. This one, every ball has been an event. Sixth over in progress, and they're 90 for 2 already. Current run rate, a telling one at 18. Staggering. And the projected score, 180. Right, Hamad Bangash has been introduced into the attack. Right arm off spin. Has the knack for picking up wickets. That's exactly what his team would require of him tonight. A couple of wickets here. Put the brakes on the scoring. Staying wide. Oh, there's a big appeal for caught behind, and the dreaded finger has gone up. It was wide, and he could have chosen to left that alone, but instead he has a dash at it. The faintest of edges to the keeper. That's exactly why he was brought into the attack, was Hamad. You were talking about his ability to pick up wickets. We've seen that with each spinner in this inning so far, although they've been unforgiving, really. The Fighter CC batters are, beg your pardon. But a few wickets as a consolation have been picked up. It doesn't quite tell you the full story. That scorecard at the moment, 91 for 3, yes, 5.2 overs. It seems ominous, but this is an excellent surface to bat on. And QNB has some decent strikers in their lineup as well, waiting in the ranks. And this guy on your screen right now, Hamad Bangash, is one of them. Once again, continuing the trend, Hamad Bangash is trying to stay away from the batsman's hitting arc. This time it was up and he hasn't quite gotten hold of it. Good piece of bowling. Excellent piece of bowling, that toe ending it straight to the fielder, and he's richly deserved that wicket. Making sure it's full, making sure it's wide, and making the batsman stretch as much as possible. All boxes ticked. Very, very clever piece of bowling. He's realized if anything comes off even close to the sweet part of the bat, it will go. These are short boundaries and the pitch is not offering much assistance to the bowlers, so keep it wide, make the batsmen stretch, realizing they don't have great footwork, rely on brute strength and hand and eye coordination, exploiting the only chink in the armor in the given circumstances. Are the new batsman in? Sohail plays for the same team as Hamad in Qatar's domestic league. Hamad actually captains that team. They're up against each other here for a change, and this could be an interesting contest. They know each other very well. Nicely bowled and gets off the mark. First bowler Sohail is a dangerous customer. Has a much larger range of shots than some of his teammates. But Hamad, how well has he bowled in this over? Going back on the back foot, and he's putting the brakes on the scoring as well now. Every dot ball is worth its weight in gold. Such is the nature of T10 cricket. Tosses it up again, and this time he clears the fence. He was much closer to the batsman, and he was able to find the middle of the bat. We saw in the last over, although you might have the greatest of intentions and strive to be as perfect as possible, you're only human end of the day. Hamad bowling an excellent over, but missing his mark, missing the line more than the length on the last ball, and the batsman showing no mercy. Naveed is the new bowler, starts off with the wide. And that brings up the 100 for Fighter Cricket Club. 100 in 6 overs. Smooth going. Nicely played through the offside. Good piece of fielding as well. Good cricket all round. Another single. That shot more conventional in nature by Sohail. Pitching his foot closer to the line of that delivery and then guiding it to the man at point. Not sure you'll see that with Junaid though. He seemed ready. Good bowling there. Good piece of bowling right out in the block hole. And asking Junaid to hit it over extra cover. Not his forte. So once again, good bowling. Not allowing the batsman to get underneath it. So a bit of a quiet period this for Fighter CC after they got off to a flying start. This over, there's been 1 wide and 2 singles. Just 3 deliveries bowled. There's still 3 more balls to go. Down next side, there's an appeal, but it sounds a bit ambitious. He's asking for a wide is Sohail, and I think the umpires are saying it came off some part of his pads. Oh, very nicely bowled. Is continued bowling that length in this over at a good trajectory as well, not allowing the batsman any room. Hello, how are you? Good. See you. Right, so this is the time when we've got to see if he's able to maintain that consistency. It's the law of averages coming into play as he found the gap there. He has indeed. A couple of meters away from that running fielder who gives up the chase in the end, and Junaid breaks the shackles. It seemed like an excellent over. It still can be considered as a reasonable one given the nature of T10 cricket. But you'll probably say it belonged to Fighter CC once again as they continue the momentum. With 8 runs in that over. I mean, it's still a pretty decent over in the context of the game. As far as QNB is concerned. The bowling was taken to pieces at the beginning of the game. I think they conceded around 75 in the first 4. So 32 in the last 3 overs is a bit of a consolation. A bit of a comeback. It's interesting to see this. Pandin is coming into the attack, replacing Hamad Bangash. The good old French cut there. It doesn't really matter how it comes as far as Sohail is concerned, as long as they keep coming for his side. Consider himself extremely unfortunate, would Pandin, but that's gone down to the boundary. It might just be questionable, the fact that Hamad's been removed from the bowling attack, because he picked up a wicket and he was able to put the brakes on scoring. Full toss, and has he found the gap? Yes, he has. Straight as an arrow. Pandin had a leap of faith trying to catch that one, but he stood no chance at all. That was hit like a tracer bullet. Well bowled. Good comeback though, up in the block hole. He hung his hand out to that last shot. Do it at your own peril in T10 cricket when you've got batsmen of the power of Sohail batting. Oh, it's clean. No, yeah, inside edge. And it goes onto the stumps. So he gets his revenge in the end. It was wide outside the off stump. And the batsman reaching out for it, not quite getting close to the pitch of the ball, and just nicking it back onto the stumps. So Pandyan in this over, he's tried to be full, and although he's not been consistent with his line, he has been able to execute that length with precision. So a few wickets falling. It's been a quiet period so far for Fighter CC. And this is an excellent surface to bat on. Let's just remind you, anything around 130, 140 is chaseable for sure. Nicely bowled once again. A bit of tail back into the batter. He's known for swinging the ball, not express in pace, but has the ability to seam and swing the ball both ways, although there isn't much seam on offer tonight. He's bowling at a good trajectory. Once again, nicely bowled. I mean, we're slightly on length, and we'll get back to it after this over. Fighter CC are 117 for 5. Right, 117 for 5 they are, Fighter CC. Last 2 overs to go. They'll be aiming for at least another 30. Down the ground he goes, and runs have dried out for sure. I mean, we've seen hittable balls as well in the last couple of overs, but they've just not been able to get the elevation, get underneath it. Junaid started off really well. He's batting on 26 of 13. He's got his eye in. Murad is still fresh at the crease. These 2 overs to go. I think the strike has to be taken by Junaid as much as possible. If you are a Fighter CC fan. But from QNB's perspective, they've got to try and finish strongly here. Restrict the opposition as much as possible. That's that one go, and rightly so. Signal is a wide. They've got a strong bowling lineup at Fighter CC, so they'd certainly fancy their chances with this total. We saw in the last game they played against Hurricanes. It was a blitzy knock by the Hurricanes captain. Proactive. And one of the knocks of the tournament, I would say. Personified to the nature of the game, the T10 cricket. Played the scoops. Charged the bowlers. Reverse sweeps. And in the end, I think it was that knock which enabled Hurricane CC to cruise home comfortably. There were some early jitters though, and we saw the quality of bowling from Fighter CC was top class. Well, talking about reverse sweeps, Murad might have had his earplugs on, trying exactly that on that delivery. Slowly realized there is no man protecting that area at a deep extra cover, a deep point, I beg your pardon, and any kind of connection might result in a boundary in that region. Excellent bowling. Yet another single. So, end of a fantastic over, an economical one from the QNB's perspective. Fighter CC, 1 over to go, 123 for 5. Right, 1 over to go, and it just seemed like they are not going to use any of the other bowlers that have bowled in this game. In fact, they've decided to go with a fresh pair of hands. Imran Khan has been handed over the ball. Seems to be part of the strategy. They want to be as less predictable as possible. And he comes again, and he's gone through the gate. Junaid, he was well settled and ready for an onslaught in this over, so it has to be said that it's a key wicket. Absolutely key at this stage. Might as well be the difference between the target they get and the target they could have gotten with him at the crease. We saw how the ball crashed through like it had a VIP stumps to the pass to the stumps. A new batsman in at that crease. QNB certainly wouldn't mind it, and at one stage this target looked like it was going to be way above 150. They've come back strongly in this game, have QNB. Adnan, the new batter on strike. Fuller he goes. Belted down the ground, just a single. No real elevation, so yet another single here, and they wouldn't mind that at all. The QNB dugout. And there we go again. That's timber once again. That's not just out, it's a furniture sale. Second time in this over that Imran has been able to get through the defenses of the batter. And that's because he's bowling full and straight. Well, the good thing here is that QNB hasn't panicked. Despite that early start, they seem to have been getting away with the game. Fighter club. But how well have they kept their composure and nerves to stay relevant? And now they find themselves in a position of dominance all of a sudden. I think 125, 126 at this stage is a very gettable score on this track. So important to stick to your guns. Oppositions can have, as we see that ball helped on its way. There's nobody patrolling that area at deep square leg region, so a much needed boundary for Fighter CC, getting close to that 130 mark. Not easy to execute that length every single ball in and over, and that's more evidence of that. But credit to Adnan, when an opportunity came along, he was able to put it away. Last ball. And he tries to swing. No connection at all, so a good finish has to be said for QNB. They were in a spot of bother, in all kinds of trouble at one stage, but they stick to their guns, they stuck to their plans, and as a result find themselves in a position where they can stage a comeback. Right, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, don't go anywhere. We've got an excellent game on our hands here. Fighter CC versus QNB Cricket Club. We've had an exciting first innings, and we'll be back for a mouth-watering second one in about 10 minutes from now. Right, we're back here with QNB CC's chase. First ball, it's already some action on display. The batsman trying to hook that ball, getting the outside edge, the leading edge, almost a catch at the boundary. So Vikram, I think, is the batsman. No, it's Maksoom actually. He's been handed over a promotion after the blitzy innings in the first game that QNB featured in. But once again, we'll see an interesting competition between two teammates from Qatar Domestic League, Hamad versus... It's Hamid actually, I beg your pardon. For a moment I thought, oh, a quick run there, and they've stolen it in the end. Good running, a white signal as well. For a moment I thought it was Suhail Khan opening the proceedings, but it's Hamid. We saw that shape from this particular end that he got in the last game, the ball tailing away slightly. And good delivery, cramping him for room. It's not going to be easy for Maksoom in this game. He looked to be quite comfortable facing the spinners in the last game. This is a very different situation here tonight, facing one of the fastest bowlers in Qatar. Short and wide, and I think it was asking for the treatment. He'd be gutted with himself. Maksoom was there to be hit. Just a nothing shot in the end, it has to be said. There is no fielder patrolling that area at deep point. This time again, short and, well, signals are wide on that occasion, but you just get the feeling, I think Hamad is having a word with him right now. A couple of balls in this over you thought should have gotten the treatment. And once again, he'd be very, very disappointed. These are hittable balls, and these are precious dot balls. The quietest of moments, as they say, make the loudest of sounds. The first over of the power play, 3 dot balls on the trot. And once again, it's cut away. This time it's on the gap. There was a fingertip, I think, of the fielder onto that ball. But it was a difficult chance, so to speak. Is saved 2 runs for the team there. That man at point. Almost an action replay of the first 3 deliveries in this over. Short, wide. But he's not making the full use of it, is Maksoom. This time he goes down the track and trying to hit the ball too hard. You get the feeling just a single. QNB off to a sedentary start here at the first over. At the end of first over, they're 7 for none. Right, second over in progress, and Maksoom has played 6 balls so far in this over. Got to do something, got to break the shackles here. Once again, a short delivery. This time he's got a good piece of it, and this is too fast of an outfield. The ball will win the race, will it? An excellent piece of work. Excellent piece of work there. Chasing that ball down, and the umpires, they probably will have a look. No, they're okay. It's amazing how these skills are so transferable between sports. It's been 2 years since the FIFA World Cup 2022, Qatar. This time tucked away for just a single. Hamad has to do something out of the ordinary here. 9 for none they are, QNB, and they are well below the required run rate at the moment. He's got the ability to play all around the wicket, has Hamad. Favors the offside area, can play with a straight bat, plays in the V. A 360-degree cricketer if he gets going. The stage is right for him, just the ideal kind of pitch as well. And trying to slog that delivery, was a touch slower with a faster action, so it was a bit deceptive. But you can see the pressure. Normally with Hamad you would see more conventional shots coming out. He would probably have preferred to drive that one, but since there is scoreboard pressure, he's trying to do something out of his comfort zone. And this time it's gone offside, but straight to the fielder. Fiercely struck, but couldn't find the gap. Pressure. This is an excellent start here with the ball by Fighter CC. QNB need a couple of boundaries here to stay in the race. This time it was full, but once again not finding the gap, just playing, quite happy to sit back at the crease is Maksoom and playing from there. So anything wide outside that off stump or even a touch short with a bit of movement will trouble him. And this time it was in his zone, he's helped it on its way, and we keep saying this, these are short boundaries. It was a touch slower, all right, but all he had to do was get a little bit of connection, and he watched that ball sail over the boundary for the first maximum of QNB's innings. This time Hamad goes, oh well, I think he hasn't quite gotten hold of it, and a collision almost between the fielders. They might live to regret this later. He's such a key wicket, is Hamad. Trying to go over mid-wicket, leading edge, an opportunity presented itself, only to be grasped. Hamid obviously gutted with himself. There was no real calling. It's not easy in the night sky, yes. Those catches, though, can come back to haunt you later. And this time, full toss. The umpires will have a check. No, it's fine. It's below waist height. And you can't help but get the feeling that Hamad is trying to hit the ball too hard. Mindful of the required run rate, which is already 14.5. And this time he's gotten hold of it. Sky high and out of sight. A 6 that defines the T10 fight. Didn't really get it on the meat of the bat. He didn't really need to. Using the pace of the bowler. Any kind of connection there was enough to carry the ball over. Must needed boundary. That will give him a lot of confidence. Hamid is not getting as much movement in this game and making room for himself. The ball whizzing past him. Better line on that occasion. The idea from Hamad was right, making room, trying to slash that ball over covers. There is no fielder protecting the boundary at the offside. This time a full toss. And nicely fielded. I think it was Zahim out there. A little bit of a lapse, and there was no man backing up. Would have been another boundary, but once again, good piece of bowling by Hamid. He's nippy. He's fast. He's bowling out here. Oh, he's bowled him. He's cleaned him up. Full and straight, and it disturbs the furniture. Nowhere at all with his footwork. Expecting a short delivery, perhaps staying back at the crease, and in the end, he didn't stand a chance. So the experiment of opening with Maksum in this match has failed drastically as QNB lose their first wicket for 26 at the end of 3. QNB at the end of 3 overs finding themselves reeling at 26 for 1. Hamad still out there at 10. They've just lost a wicket. Something has to give here. 4th over in progress, and the required run rate almost touching 15. Farhan Butt has been introduced into the attack. Goes across the stump, and he wanted to heave that over that mid-wicket boundary. Didn't quite find the elevation. As we see this field set, there is a long on, long off, deep mid-wicket, deep square leg, and deep extra cover. The 5 fielders outside the 30-yard circle. It's T10 Ramadan Cup 2025, brought to you by Qatar Cricket Association. Has been an absolute extravaganza so far. Up in the air goes Ayaz, the new batsman. It will fall short of the fielder. Talking about this tournament once again, it has totally lived up to its expectation. Hamad this time, he's hit that straight to the fielder. He's picked him up perfectly. Would be extremely disappointed with that shot. It was there to be hit. Probably once again looking for a 6 and trying to hit that ball too hard. It's landed straight into the hands of the fielder, and the QNB at the moment are in a spot of bother, 29 for 2. So we're talking about the Ramadan T10 tournament brought to you by the official broadcasting partner, the SARS Group. They've done a wonderful job of this event, bringing the action live to you from the Asian Town International Cricket Stadium. And we've all been thoroughly entertained with the quality of cricket we've seen so far. Here we go again, Anish. He's announced his presence at the crease. It was half a chance, all right. That ball went flat, but it had just enough power to clear that fielder. It didn't really clear him. It was lobbed over the boundary. Tipped over the bar, as they say. A bit of a football analogy there. He goes again, he goes big, he finds the distance, and it's the second consecutive maximum of this over. It was in his zone. He's known for his big hitting ability, and he certainly got the license here tonight. A couple of quick wickets, yes, but Anis has made his way out in the middle. He's a dangerous customer, has the ability to change the course of a game. Oh, this time it was wide, way wide. He was looking for the third in a row. So a wicket, but 2 sixes in the over. QNB at the end of 4 are 41 for 2. Fighter CC versus QNB CC. This match coming to you live from the Western International Cricket Ground, match number 16. And we've got an absolutely enthralling contest on our hands here. Mohammad Sohail is the new batsman, right arm, medium fast for Fighter CC. And he can be a bit nippy as well. And he comes again and trying to slog that ball. Ayaz not getting any timing on it. Just a single, but it's got the right man on strike. Anish starting off with 2 sixes. And a dot ball is looking for a few more of those to bring QNB back into this game. Here we go again. He's gone over the top here. Has he found the gap? No, there's a fieldsman coming across, so it will only be a single. He has this majestic ability to clear the fence against spinners. Has an array of shots. Can play the lap sweep, use his feet. As we look at the second encounter of the night, which will be brought to you live by us after this game. It will be QCA CC up against the Mavericks. QCA CC have had a bit of a golden run in this tournament already, particularly with their batters posing big totals. Mavericks yet to be on board. Full toss, and it'd be terribly run out opportunity as well at the same time. Terribly disappointed with himself. It was there to be hit. He's asking for a no ball. It was touch and go. Just around that waist height. Required run rate now almost touching 16. This time it was short. He sliced it, but it falls in the no man's land. He's looking for the second. No. Turned back, and rightly so. Ayaz, he's faced 4 deliveries so far, 4 singles. He's trying to do the right thing, trying to clear the boundary. Hasn't quite found the meat of the bat yet. Oh, kept a little bit low, but he's found the gap, has he? Yes, he has. Nobody at that deep mid-wicket area, and the ball rolling through for a boundary. Much needed at this stage for QNB as they finish this over on 9 as they complete their 50 at the halfway mark. Wasn't a convincing looking shot, but it doesn't really matter. 80 runs required now from the last 5 overs. It does look like a stiff ask. Current run rate at 10, and they'll probably look back and regret the decision to open with Maksum tonight. Tahir, in the meantime, has been introduced into the attack, and he's been helped away. Straight to the field, though, just a single. Coming back for the second, actually. This could be close. And there's an appeal. No damage done in the end. Remember, we don't have the third umpire facility in this game, so we can't check. But if there is any doubt at all, it goes to the batsman by default. So a couple of the first ball. They need a big over here, an over of 15, 20. And he tries to use his feet, overrunning that delivery, I think. Nowhere near the pitch of the ball. So another dot ball. Tahir is a useful cricketer, useful all-round cricketer. Can bat, bowl and field all equally well. Captain's dream to have someone like him in the team. And this time he sliced it once again, another slice, but he's coming back with a second, and this time I think it's much closer than the first time. Has he dislodged the bails though? That's the question they're asking. I think he hasn't, and that's why he has survived once again. He was short of his crease, but the keeper on that occasion, unfortunately, missed out on an opportunity. It's yet another slice of a shot by Ayaz. He has the ability to hit big sixes, but so far in this innings it's been a bit of a struggle. 8 of 7. He's looked to power the ball. And this time it's in his zone, and he can watch that ball fly over the long off and long on fielders, and he brings up his first 6 of the innings. It wasn't timed, mind you. Seemed to have sliced it. But any kind of decent connection on this pitch and ground will bring you dividends. And this time a Yorker, good comeback. Very good comeback. Looking for the second. Deciding against it. So 11 so far of the over. They need another hit to keep up with the required run rate. The partnership 32 of 14. They require 69 in 25 deliveries. Low full toss. Hits mid-wicket, but they've got that area of the ground covered. Have Fighter CC at the end of 6. QNB are 62 for 2. As we look at this current partnership, 33. And it's come in quick time as well, but I think it's the start that they'd be ruining at this stage. QNB. Lots of dot balls in contrast to how Fighter CC started their innings. There were 75, I remember, at one stage of 4 overs. Current run rate is a sedentary one at the moment, 10.33. And we've got the last 4 overs in operation. So it's spin to commence proceedings from this end, and I think Anish wouldn't really mind it. Takes his chances against a spin, and certainly seems to fancy them. Going for that slog sweep, missing out on that occasion. Adnan, he will bowl those gentle leg spinners. Not a huge turn of the ball, but the ball does tend to keep straight and low when he's bowling. Uses his feet this time and clears the fence, does he? Yes, comfortably as well. Hence his ability to take the spinners on with control and authority. You just get the feeling this might just be the over that QNB need at this stage. With their backs against the wall. It's a constant race against time in this T10 format of the game. A touch short on that occasion. Played straight down the ground as he found the gap. Yes, he has. He's beaten that fielder at long off, and consecutive boundaries here for Fighter CC. He went a touch short, but smart cricket has to be said by Anish. He was expecting that, sitting back at the crease, waiting for it, and then picking his spot straight down the ground. That's experience for you. Where does he go next, Adnan? Wide outside the off stump. Has he got that extra cover release shot? We'll wait and see. No, but he sliced it. It could be out. Yes, he's out. Slicing that delivery. I think he was probably expecting that ball outside the off stump. Trying to go for that inside out drive, but ended up slicing it to Khalid, who accepts it gleefully. A timely wicket here for Fighter CC, and this might as well be the final nail in the coffin. Just looking at that shot, you get the feeling he was trying to aim towards extra cover. Losing the control of his bat, slicing it. The ball coming off the outside half of the bat. No timing at all, and it results in yet another wicket. Imran Khan has just made his way out in the middle, and we'll have to wait and see. Yes, he's been caught. First ball, he had no options but to go for it. Miscuing the first ball, and it's the second consecutive wicket here in this over. Perishing in the cause, has to be said. Imran Khan, he didn't really have much time to get his eye in. As we look at the upcoming encounter for the night, it's going to be Mavericks versus Hilti. Mavericks desperately want to win here to be on board. 2 played, 2 losses. But we've got plenty of firepower in both those sides. Expect lots of runs and wickets and lots of T10 entertainment coming your way. Right, getting back to the game. Adnan started off this over with the 6 and a 4, but he certainly made amends with a couple of quick wickets in succession. Faster one. The ball going through with the arm. A bit like Shahid Afridi and Rashid Khan. Bowling at a good low trajectory. At the end of the 7th over, QNB are 73 for the loss of 4. Right, so it's an uphill task here for QNB at this stage. They require almost 60 in the last 3 overs. And nobody remembers when that happened the last time. The odds are certainly against them at this stage, but you never know. It's a funny game. Funnier things have happened in cricket. Ayar still out there. He's been joined by Naveed. They've still got 6 wickets in the bank. But they need something out of the ordinary, something extraordinary, in fact. Now that gets Ayaz back on strike. He's got 4 balls in this over. So far we've seen that he sliced more shots than middled them. He did get 1 boundary. Yet to find his mark in the game. And wide, making him stretch for that delivery. That's been the magic line so far in this game. The bowlers trying to stay away from the batsman's hitting arc, making them fetch the ball. And Naveed is no mug with the bat, hits it away, but it's smart field pacing by Fighter CC, covering that onside area of the field. They've got a man back at deep square leg, deep mid wicket, long gone as well. Just the 2 fielders outside the 30-yard circle on the offside. Deep extra cover and long off. And yet another single. They're looking for the second. Singles here won't really hurt. As we look at the equation, they required 52 of 13 now. In T10 cricket, these singles and even dot balls are a minor miracle. And Fighter CC have been able to pull quite a few of them off tonight. Once again, no damage done, just a single. QNB staring down the barrel here at the end of 8 are 79 for the loss of 4. Right, so we have a look at the match summary at the moment. Fighter CC batting first, scoring 129 for 7, courtesy that blitzy knock by Khalid Mirza at the top, scoring 43 of 11. He was ably supported by Junaid Tahir and Sohail. Hamad being the pick of the bowlers for QNB CC, picking up 2 wickets. Only bowled the 1 over though, which was a bit of a surprise. QNB in response haven't quite lived up to the expectations. Right up in the block hole. And, well, he's made an absolute meal of that one, the fielder. Straightforward opportunity, probably sitting on his laurels, becoming a bit complacent, maybe dictated by the pace of the game in the last couple of overs. The captain not happy. And it's gone straight down the ground. And he's covered the fence comfortably. Well, that's what happens when you allow the opposition to get a step back into the door. Complacency seen on the last ball, and it probably helped QNB gain a bit of momentum. A 4 and a 6. Still a massive ask, a gigantic one, but can they get as close to the target as possible? This is a long tournament, remember. 41 the need of 10 deliveries. Although unlikely, this is still possible. and achievable. This time short. Couldn't quite find the gap. .130 the target. They require another 40 runs in the next 9 balls. The equation tightening with every passing ball. Another slice, and this time, well, for a moment I thought it was going down the throat there of the fielder, Khalid. But a missed opportunity, so a couple of lapses in concentration, perhaps, in this over. A dropped catch and a missed field. It's so important to remember that this is a big tournament. They've lost the first game, have Fighter CC. So to stay relevant and qualify for the knockouts later, they must try and stay up and above the net run rate. Another ball, another single, no damage done. The end of the 9th over. And QNB reeling at 93 for 4. They've looked a different side tonight, have Fighter CC. It's a wicket that's tailor-made to their strength, which is big hitting. They got off to a strong start when they were out there batting. And well, a bit of a consolation, all right, but it's cleared the fence. It might be too little too late at this stage, but a boundary that might just help their cause later in the tournament as they get close to that 130 mark. Only 5 legitimate deliveries remaining in this inning. So unless they bowl any extras, any wides or no balls, they should be home comfortably. It's gone again, straight down the ground, and I think it's cleared the fence comfortably as well. What a shot. I think that was the best of the lot that he's played this night. Much more convincing. Even in the last ball, I thought it was a bit of a slice, but this one, much more convincing. So, are we in for a bit of a surprise here, a bit of a twist in the tail? 4 balls, 25 needed. Slower delivery, it was coming, and although it found the meat of the bat, didn't quite have the distance. So often the go-to ball for bowlers in this kind of situation. We haven't seen many of those, apart from the game last night where Phantom featured against Alasnath CC. We saw lots of variation from Phantom. The slow ones, the cutters. That has been one telling difference between sides like Phantom and Fighter CC. And even Fireox and Hurricanes, 4 of the big guns in this tournament. You've seen how they've got all 3 departments working for them. Straight down the ground he goes. He's having a bit of fun, but wasn't quite timed. A slower delivery. And it was a straightforward opportunity. Again, a case of complacency, surely. It might come back to haunt them later in the tournament. Anyways, the last ball of this game coming up. Naveed on strike. It's gone up an aerial and straight to the fielder. QNB falling short in this game by 21 runs. And Fighter CC reaching home by 20 runs. So initially I thought it was 21, but the confirmation is Fighter CC winning this game by a margin of 20. It's been a good performance by them in this game. And I think QNB, on the other hand, have been a bit more reactive coming from the first game. They analyzed performances in just one particular game and made changes as a result. Changed their opening pairs as we look at the match summary once again. I think it's the fact that they've been too reactive and promoted people on the basis of one match performance. Not always the strongest of rationales for strategizing in a tournament like this. They did improve on the fielding front, and the batting in the end was all right as they crossed that 100-run mark, but in T10 cricket, 20 runs is still a big margin. As we look at the match summary once again, Fighter CC batting first, 129 for 7. Khalid Mirza doing most of the damage at the top. 43 runs of 11, well supported by Junaid Tahir and Suhail. Hamad was the pick of the ball. Was a bit surprised why he wasn't given that second over. Imran picked up 2 wickets once again, only bowled 1. Amarjeet 1, and Pandyan bowling 2 overs for 26 runs. QNB in response, falling short by 20 runs. As we look at the player of the match, and well deserved, Khalid Mirza for his 43 runs of 11 balls, 2 fours, 5 sixes, and I think he picked up a catch as well. So well done, Khalid Mirza. Excellent performance, and that sets the tone for him in the tournament. As we look at the partnerships, Tahir and Mirza, 32 of 13 deliveries. Farhan Bhatt and Mirza were together for 9 deliveries, but they notched up 32 quick runs. And then 20 plus partnerships in the middle, making sure that Fighter CC reach a commendable target of 129, although there was a bit of period when they didn't score as many runs. So the next game coming up, it's going to be Mavericks versus Hilti CC. It's going to be an action-packed encounter as we've got lots of firepower coming your way. Stay tuned for that. We'll see you back in 10 minutes.